Welcome to Israel Channel, which is an acronym for Initiative for Shalom-related advocacies by exploring the land. Today we are focusing on a new topic, that is to hear the incredible and impactful stories of those who choose to experience and explore the land of Israel for themselves. Israel is not just a country, but a destination that brings to life what was written in the Bible thousands of years ago. What we see today is a testament of that living memory, where every stone tells a story, every whisper of the wind carries echoes of the past, and every step you take brings you closer to the hearts of the Bible. People have incorporated Israel into their transformative journeys of faith for millennia for a good reason. This enduring connection is exemplified by the experiences of participants in the IBEX program of the Masters Universities in California. Here are a few of the stories reflecting the profound impacts of the time in Israel on their personal and spiritual growth. Alright, so tell us about your experience here in Israel then.
Yeah, so my experience here, I would say, has been more than just an experience, more than just coming to Israel, seeing cool things, seeing cool culture, but you actually see God's purpose and why He chose Israel to where all the history, most of the history of the Old Testament, New Testament took place. I would say the way I've learned the Bible better here is the why certain places are where they are, and places like why does God have Jesus go to Galilee to minister most of his time there? Why does God have Jerusalem where it is? Those certain things made me appreciate places that God had a purpose in putting things at, I guess. The impact that it had on my faith the most being here in Israel was by far, I think number one, you have just the sovereignty of God over the history of Israel from 4,000 years ago and to now, and God has still kept this nation as it is. And also, I think it's just made me way more excited and anxious to where Christ does return. Christ does set up his millennial kingdom and starts it in Jerusalem and splits the Mount of Olives and sends the waters to the Dead Sea to be an alive sea, things like that. So I think I anticipate Christ's return that much more by seeing where it's actually going to happen. I'd say my most memorable part here was probably doing the Good Friday service and walking around. On that, we went Friday night into Jerusalem and walked from each spot to where Jesus would have been on that last evening before his crucifixion. Yes, and subscribe to Israel's channel or you'll regret it.
Israel has been amazing. I don't know, the land is small but very vast and different everywhere you go, so it's really interesting to be immersed into the culture of the Bible for that reason, because you start to understand contextually the geography. It's really interesting.
So in what way you're staying here helps you to understand the Bible better?
Just knowing what the Israelites had to face geographically and even with the weather, like how dry it is and stuff like that, realizing that there really is, when you're in the Negev, for example, there is no other person that you can rely on besides God.
So what impact does it have on your faith after seeing various sites where history happened as recorded in the Bible?
Well, when you're away from this land, you kind of try to imagine it to the best of your ability, but when you're in it, it starts to feel like it's already verified. You don't need to rely on facts that you read. You're in the land and you're seeing the evidence for yourself.
So in what is your mental picture of Jerusalem, Galilee and other sites as compared to seeing it with your own eyes when you're here?
Yeah, I can finally imagine it like while I'm reading it, which is a blessing. To be like, when you're reading it in scripture and you come across those places, you're like, wow, I was standing there, I know exactly what that looks like. It just changes the game. It changes how you interpret scripture.
Okay, so what is your most memorable part of staying here then?
Definitely the Negev, and meditating on Deuteronomy 8 was just absolutely mind-blowing, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. And also the amazing people that I've met here in Israel, especially in Yad Hashmona. I love these people and I'm gonna miss them very much.
Are you at some point planning to come back?
I would love to, yeah, I really would love to, hopefully.
Right, so are you recommending anybody to come and visit?
Absolutely, for definitely more than a week. You need at least 2 or 3 weeks to explore the land.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, so I spent the last 4 months here in Israel and really loved the experience. I've heard about it from my mom when she was here 20 years ago. And so it was everything I hoped it would be. Really cool to see all the cool sights and like see where I've learned about as a kid. Just kind of changed my perspectives of scripture. Yeah, just an awesome experience. Wouldn't want to change it.
So while I've been living in Israel, it's been really cool to tour all the different biblical sites and just see how we have so much evidence for the Bible and how detailed it is in its descriptions, and how we have just so much evidence to back that up, and how, yeah, the Lord just provides so much to convince us, and He's so faithful to draw us to Himself in so many different ways. And it was really cool to see a lot of the archaeology that backs up the Bible, and yeah, it was just really strengthening for my faith, and getting to see the Lord's faithfulness to us as we were in like a different country away from home with a lot of our comforts removed, and the Lord was really kind and faithful even when it was hard.
So I spent the past 4 months participating in the IBEX program, traveling all around Israel and studying the Bible where the Bible took place, and it's been a cool experience seeing the Bible come to life before my eyes, and to kind of read the Bible in color and just grow, and seeing how the Israelites were so unfaithful and the Lord was still faithful to them, and seeing in my own life I'm often unfaithful, but the Lord is still faithful to me as well. And it's been a really cool application to draw from this whole semester, and I'm really thankful for all the Lord has taught me while I've been here. Yeah.
So I spent the last 4 months in Israel traveling around with our IBEX group, and it was a really neat experience. Being from a biblical background and going to a Christian school, I thought it was really cool as we went through the country to see where the Bible passages lined up with where we actually were. I definitely brought a lot of context to the Bible, and being able to see those locations and experience what maybe the people of the Bible were experiencing at sometimes makes it completely different to read. I really enjoyed my time. The country is amazing. A lot different than the States, obviously, and the cultural difference was also a lot different. Just so many different religions and people here, and a lot more religious focused, or focused on religion. So it was definitely a culture shock overall, but I really enjoyed my time, and I feel like I learned a lot.
So I just spent 4 months in Israel through the Master University's IBEX program, and it has really taught me a lot. It really shows you different perspectives of different Bible passages for both the New Testament and Old Testament. You get to go see where the actual events took place, and for me that was just really surreal. One specific one would be David and Goliath. That's my favorite Bible passage, Bible story. So being able to see that, see where all the Philistines and the Israelites were, it was very, very cool. And the culture shock is very, it's there. It's very different from America. So it'll come to Israel.
So my time in Israel has just been an incredible learning experience, just seeing different cultures and history, and it's been an incredible time. I think my biggest takeaway was just the most impactful thing even for me is just seeing the sufficiency of Scripture and the Bible, just how it speaks to different cultures, how it speaks to history and how it's rooted in history, and just reading through the Bible while I've been here has been so sweet, and seeing how it's addressing issues that I'm struggling with, and how it speaks to cultures and how it speaks to history. And it's just been an amazing, incredible experience, and just deepened my love for the Bible and for Scripture.
Subscribe to Israel's channel.